She brought me sprinkle cookies.
So what, no fucking TV now?
Hey!
Maybe she's from Jersey.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Maybe She's from Jersey. We're your hosts, Jackie Neese
and Alex Curtis.
And today we have a fun guest and a fun sponsor. So I'll start with the sponsor. We'll lead into the guest. So today we have my favorite. If you've ever been in Hoboken, New Jersey and been to Blue Eyes on Sinatra Drive, it's right on the water.
What a street to be on.
Oh yeah, it's literally the Frank Sinatra statue is actually right outside of Blue Eyes right now. But best place, and I would show you the pizza, but I kind of ate all of it, literally all of it. I'm so sorry.
It was so good that we sat on the floor the second she walked in.
Yeah,
and
right.
Housed it
Right before she walked in, we were sitting on the floor just housing pizza.
And then she looks at me and goes, "Why are we on the floor?" I'm like, "I just followed you."
It's just like that kind. It's just so good. It's my favorite place. You should definitely check it out. But we'll post like a really nice picture of the pizza on our page. But yeah, definitely check them out. Super fun.
Moving on to our actual guest, Dina with pink hair. I mean, you can't miss her.
It's not always a good thing.
No, honestly, it's better than not. So today, honestly, I'm going to let you kind of roll with it. We want to introduce yourself, like a little bit of your background.
Sure.
You could literally start wherever
Okay.
you're
Oh,
comfortable.
God. Okay, so it's all started in 1988. So, I mean, most people know me because I own a hair salon. I do a lot of makeup. My salon used to be in Hoboken. I did hair, makeup, and airbrush tanning here for years. I work a lot with Elvis Duran in the Morning Show and, like, different, like, iHeart talent, celebrities, but doing hair and makeup. But then... I mean, over the last several years, I've been working on mediumship, but I never really told people about it because it's like, what? Like, super judgmental.
I'm sure.
I was like, I'm working on my career. I don't want people, like, judging me or, you know, thinking, like, what is she doing? And I wanted my focus to be on, like, my career.
Right.
But then after a while, I was like, I'm ignoring this based on what other people might think of me. And I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that anymore. So last year, I, like, came out. And now I like do readings pretty frequently and like parties.
Do you balance both equally?
Oh no, absolutely not. No, okay. I have no balance whatsoever. It's just, you know, like trying to fit 10 pounds of stuff into a 5-pound bag at all times. Yeah. But I keep it as controlled as I can, and I have a good team around me. So
that's awesome.
What's the name of your salon now, and where is it?
Oh yeah, so it started off in Hoboken. I opened my shop when I was 23 on Newark Street. Mm-hmm. It was called Dina's Kiss and Makeup. It was a cute little makeup boutique. I did spray tans. We had jewelry. It was so fun. Aww. I shut it down, turned it into a hair salon, but that building burnt down. So we, in 2017, moved it to Sea Caucus.
Wow.
And that's where it is.
Was your shop, like, affected?
Oh, yeah. So the fire was in the apartments upstairs, but the whole building had to get torn down. So
wow.
I was like, what now? It was supposed to reopen. So I was like, okay, cool. At the end of the day, I'll have my Hoboken salon and a new shop in Sea Caucus. But thank God I opened the Sea Caucus one because then the Hoboken one was not able to reopen. So I was like, okay.
That's and how long has that one been up?
Next week is 5 years.
Oh, yeah. Congrats.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing something?
I'll get a balloon. I don't know.
How did you know?
Well, first of all, I'll say everybody can do mediumship because it's another sense. Literally anybody can do it. There is absolutely nothing special about me. I just pay attention to it.
Allie.
And it's like muscles and going to the gym. Like if you don't work out, you will have no muscle tone. If you don't pay attention to mediumship and you're not a spiritual person, nothing's going to happen with it. And that's fine. It's a choice.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, if you want to learn to play piano, okay, you can't just play it. You got to like learn.
Right.
So I just knew, like, some people I feel like are natural born mediums and other people are just really interested in it and they get into it, right? Via classes or just interest. And either way is totally fine. I feel like I'm like 50-50, honestly. Okay. As a kid, I just felt weird, which I still do.
What do you mean you felt weird?
Like, just, like, I was like, oh, I'm like, weird. Like, I would, like, the weirdest stuff. Like, I would think that I saw dead people.
And you're like, did anybody see that?
Yeah, luckily it wasn't like super freaky, like out of a horror movie, but I just felt like I remember my aunt died when I was young, and I never said this to anybody, but I was like, well, I feel like I could talk to her. I feel like she could hear me. Like, and I loved like witchy stuff as a kid.
Yeah.
But thinking it was like witchcraft, not in like a satanic
Yeah,
way
yeah,
or
yeah.
anything dark.
Like Hocus Pocus.
But thinking, like, you know what it was, honestly? A sense of, like, magic. You know what I mean? Like, I knew that there was more.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
that's really what it was. It was just knowing that there's something else.
Was
And it's hard
anybody
to
else
explain.
the same way around you to like
I don't think
justify you, or you were just
no,
like
oh
a
my god, no.
confident?
My family was like old school Italian.
Oh,
Like, you
really?
couldn't say that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
No. But my grandmother, she's very strange, but she was like into tarot cards.
Yeah.
And my family always said my other grandmother on my dad's side was also like really psychic. But they would never like use that word or like say anything about it. But they were like,
Right.
oh, she just knew stuff.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, maybe that was it. I don't know.
So you really didn't have like a mentor when you were younger to be like,
No.
this is normal.
No, I have a
Wow.
mentor now
Okay.
who's like, oh,
That's
I will
awesome.
totally shout her out. But oh yeah,
Okay.
no, as a kid, nothing.
All right. Well, let's
Wow.
get right into it
Yeah.
then.
Wait, can I ask a second
right
question
ahead.
then? What
She's
was
very
your
passionate.
first experience where you were like, okay, like I cannot doubt what I'm looking at or what I'm experiencing, and like you were kind of just like letting the experience happen? Like, did you have a first moment like
yeah,
that?
it's the weirdest thing. So a couple things happened when I was a kid, but it's really hard for me to say it was imaginary versus not imaginary. But the first like personal like experience I knew is so weird. I don't even know if I've told anybody this. I think I've told maybe like one or two people, but my mom died when I was 14, and it was again that feeling of like I can talk to her, I know she can hear me, and like right after she died, I don't know if it was the next day or like 3 or 4 days later, but it was literally right after. I was like so angry, and I remember I was in my bedroom, and there was a window right here. It was a beautiful sunny day. I remember like turning away from the window, and I was like, you know what? If she could hear me and she understands how angry I am and how upset I am, like it would be like it was raining outside. And I just saw dark, and I because it was sunny out, and I turned, and all of a sudden there were just raindrops on my window, and I went like literally like when people say like I saw a ghost, like that's how I felt. It was perfectly sunny.
Oh my
There was
gosh.
no rain in the forecast, and literally instantly when I thought that, I just saw the sun like turn off.
Wow.
You know, the clouds came in, and
Wow.
I went, and I saw the raindrops on my window. I was like, what the fuck? And it was like a quick sun shower that just, it was literally a couple minutes, and then boom, perfectly sunny again. I was
Wow.
like, that was the weirdest thing.
You're like, this is legit.
Yeah.
It was so weird, and like that's the kind of thing you're like, I don't know, did I make it up? Did I not? But I'm like, no, that was
You
too
gotta like trust your
weird.
gut. I
Yeah.
think.
It was too weird to not be a thing.
That's cool though.
Is
Like,
it also
were
like
you
the
scared?
feeling you get? Like I feel like there's a feeling. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Like there's
I know
like
you're
a-
very passionate.
I
though.
love this stuff. I can literally keep you all here all day and be like, so.
I'll just sleep
Um,
right here.
Wake you up in the middle of the night. I have another question.
One more.
Yeah,
I have one more.
I just think it's so fascinating, and I think it's something that a lot of people don't open themselves to. And I had, at a very young age, a lot of experiences in my life that I'll say were very miraculous. And there were moments where I was like, there's gotta be something more. There's gotta be
yeah.
something else,
Yeah.
because it's just like science doesn't cover it. And
Yeah.
there are things that they come with feelings, and there was just so much that I was just like, I know. Like,
Yeah, there's no denying it. And like people say like, oh well, it's not possible. It's not this. Well, how do you know? Like, first of all, we have these boxes that are called radios, and you turn it on, and these waves go magically through the air invisibly. Same with Wi-Fi. Like that doesn't make sense either.
right.
But we know it's a thing. The wind, you can't see it, but you can feel it. But it's
I love
just there's certain things that happen. Like my sister and I actually, after my grandmother died, we had the exact same dream about her.
Wow.
Exact same dream. Then I heard her say it like a year later, and I'm like, bitch, I told you that. She goes, no, you didn't. I was like, yes, I did. That was my dream. Like, I was mad. Like, I was like, you stole my dream. She was like, no, I had that dream. I'm like, what? That happens a lot with siblings or like
Yeah.
close family members. They'll have the same dream about someone. And I believe Spirit does that. I refer to them as Spirit or Spirit Squad. They do that as extra proof because, okay, one person has that dream or that interaction or that sign, but if two people have it, you have the same experience. How can you explain that? You
Yeah.
can't.
Okay.
But can I ask a question then? Because
You don't have to ask if you can ask a question. Just
Okay.
keep it rolling.
It's more like, can I ask her a question? Thank you.
Like me next.
So like, I know that anyone can like do it, but do you think that people they start at like a higher baseline than other people?
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was talking about with like natural born versus not. And you know what? We start like blank computers, like
Right.
a brand new, buy a brand new laptop. It's got nothing on it.
Yeah.
And then you've had that laptop for 6 years. It's got so many files downloaded on it, viruses, you name it. Like we are just programmed. Everything's getting uploaded from the minute we're born. So some of those things are good. Some of those things are bad.
Yeah.
So if you have a spiritual family, you know, you're going to feel more connected, or if you have exposure to that. If you're in a math and science family that doesn't believe in anything, that's what you're going to be like.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we have experiences as we get older where, you know, we learn new things. That's when people can open up to it. So some people never open up to it, and some just do it at all different points in their lives.
How do you feel about like commercialized mediums and like the ones that are on TV?
Well, okay. Are you talking about like Long Island Medium,
I was
Tyler
just
Henry,
thinking
like those kinds of people?
You're like psychic.
Or something. I have really mixed feelings about it.
Yeah.
Baseline, when you're doing a television show, it's got to hit what's called a beat sheet. So they need X, Y, and Z.
Of course.
Done. So on a TV show, you're always getting what they want you to see.
Right.
It's
like
hard
reality
to tell.
TV.
Exactly. Because that's really what it is. I used to idolize Teresa before, like, you know, a million years ago, when I was just like, wow, this stuff is so interesting.
When she first started?
When like I first found her. Well, like, you know, when the TV show came out.
Right,
so
right,
yeah,
right.
I guess when she first became
like
really
original.
public.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved her. I thought she was great. Now that I do it professionally, I mean, I'm not gonna bash her. I don't know her, but there's some things that I'm like, oh yeah, I do that really differently. And it's just from being in that same league now. But like psychics, boardwalk psychics, things like that, I'm like, oh hell no.
Yeah.
Most of them are scam artists.
Can you explain that to me? Because
Yeah.
I actually am so fascinated how you scam somebody.
Yeah.
Every medium is a psychic, but not every psychic is a medium. It's like,
Every medium is a psychic, but not every psychic is
yeah.
a
So medium
medium.
means we talk to people who passed.
God.
Psychic just means like, oh, I can sense things, I pick things up. I actually hate the word psychic because to me it's just so like associated with scams and people like really
It's
looking,
stereotypic.
like the crystal ball and the like ripping people off. I'm like, ugh. Like I use that word as little as possible.
Yeah.
I wish there was another word. Like I think even on my Instagram, I don't use the word psychic. It's just a spiritual and intuitive medium. I don't even really do psychic readings anymore. I don't like.
What are they though? Like, is it just like your aura or something?
Yeah. Okay. So the easiest way to describe it is like spirituality. I always say is like a university. Okay. There's so many different classes you could take. There's so many different things you can focus on. Like I'm like 95% mediumship.
Okay.
There's aura colors, angel numbers, Reiki, past life regression, Akashic records reading, numerology, astrology. Like there's just so much. I am like the biggest for a medium. I am the biggest skeptic. I'm always like,
I love that.
I'm the first person to roll my eyes at stuff. So I'm like, okay, whatever you say. So it's so much. It's really hard to just be like, oh, it's not in a box.
Right.
It's a million things. Like my mentor, her name's Lee. Shout out Lee. You could check her out on Instagram. It's Lee Van Zyl Spiritual, LeeVan.
We'll tag it.
Yeah, she's dope. She does so many classes.
Yeah.
She to me is like Dumbledore of the university.
Wow.
Like, she knows everything. She's taught me like literally
That's
most
quite
of
a
what I know.
compliment.
She's the best.
Dumbledore's a big deal.
Yeah.
They say he's important.
Yeah.
But she has a center in Clifton, and I've taken so many classes with her. I did like my Reiki certification with her. She did what did she just do for me? Oh, an Akashic records reading, which is like digging into. I can barely describe it.
I did one of these last month.
It's basically like going into like a previous life and figuring out like a little bit of why you are the way you are.
Oh, cool.
Which again, I was like, but the things that got uncovered in that reading, I was like, oh snap!
So she guides you on how to do it.
So it's literally a reading, and in that reading, you feel like they're talking about someone else.
Okay.
But then there's these like flags that come up, and it's not so much about the reading and like what happened in this past life, but these markers are like indicators of why you are the way you are. Cool. And it helps you move on, because what happens, our soul goes through a cycle each life. Then we cross over, and then whenever the time is right, we come back and live another life.
So reincarnation is a thing.
I never believed it, but I actually do now.
Okay.
I was always like, whatever. I never thought about it, but I actually do believe in it now. But I don't believe people should be thinking about it all the time and be caught up
Like,
on it.
I'm going to be a grasshopper.
Yeah.
Right? Like, or, oh, I was this in my past. I'm like, stop. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool to dig into a little bit, but like focus on the life you have now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the boardwalk stuff.
Yeah.
And okay, so.
Like, how do you scam somebody?
Okay, so a lot of the psychics are, and I'm sure you've seen it like on the news. I actually had one in my salon a couple years ago, which was wild. There is a group, their like slang term is like they're gypsies,
Yeah.
but I'm not saying they're not talented. I actually got scammed by one in my life as well when I was like way younger. They are very, very talented at like mental,
Like people.
psychic work and like reading people.
Mm.
I think that they may be talented, but their MO is to
Right.
get thousands and thousands of dollars out of you.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
these people go to jail all the time.
Really?
Oh my
And
God.
the laws are actually cracking down on them because basically what you're doing is
They're
getting-
taking advantage of people.
Yeah.
yeah, but like no one goes for a psychic reading when they're having the best day of their life.
Right.
They go when they're heartbroken.
Yeah.
When they want their ex to come back.
Yeah.
When someone died. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not like, hey, I'm in a
Vulnerable.
great mood. I want to read
Right.
it. Sometimes it is, and that's a really fun reading. But generally, you're dealing with someone that's like going through a lot.
You need support. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they'll tell you, oh, you know, they'll give you a good reading and they'll throw some bits at you that you're like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. But then they say like, oh, you need your chakras cleansed. Oh, you have a curse on you. I'm going to clear it for you. That's all bullshit.
Yeah.
If anyone ever says that or tells you that, it's not true. There's no such thing as being cursed. It's not a thing.
Wow.
So they get you.
That would
on the,
scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
They
I'd be
get
like, that
you-
makes so much sense. I was
Yeah.
stuck in traffic today.
Yeah, and they say things that are very vague,
Yeah.
but they'll pick up on your cues if you're like, oh yeah, and then they'll keep going, and then
Wow.
you're like, wow, they really understood
They
something
know
about me.
me.
Like I got scammed by one years ago, and she said a few things that I was like, oh, there's no way she could have known that, and
Yeah.
it was freaky.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
but that's what they do. They
That's
throw
so
the bait, they
sad.
reel you in, and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna do that for you.
Wow.
Just like in any, I think, career field, there's always bad eggs.
But they're like
Yeah.
little fuck boys.
yeah.
They like promise a lot up front. And
Yeah,
then
yeah, spiritual
they
fuck
under
boys,
deliver.
I have a
Take
question.
advantage
no
of you.
delivery. No delivery.
I have so many
whatsoever.
questions, actually. Do you believe in astrology signs?
Yes, but I don't harp on it and I don't research it.
Like, I think, and this is like my thought, because I'm a very scientific based person. Like, she will literally like, that's because you're a Leo. I'm like,
I'm a
I just
Leo.
had a
Are you
bad
a
day
Leo?
today.
Me too.
Yes.
When's your birthday?
Oh, August 11th.
I'm August 8th.
Oh, okay.
I was born at 8/8/88.
Oh my
Wow,
gosh.
that's
Yeah.
cool. So you are like special.
I know. I didn't realize I'm a Lionsgate portal baby.
Oh my
What
god.
does
Again,
that mean?
I don't really know, but
Oh.
I'm like, oh my god,
That's
it's
a
a
big
really
deal.
really spiritual day, really spiritual number.
What
Wow.
does 888 mean?
It's financial abundance
Well, I want
and
that.
like new beginnings. I'm like, all right, cool.
Sounds
I
good.
can
Send me
really
check.
do some financial
Bet on me,
abundance.
baby.
Joe, leave me alone. Yeah, so basically she like loves that stuff, and I got into it because of her. Not even into it, more like I acknowledged it more.
You just pay attention a little
Yeah,
more.
but it makes sense. Like it okay, there's little things about like the other side that you have to just be a little bit open to, like the fact that, you know, radio waves, like in frequencies, like come on. So as far as like astrology signs, I'm like, yeah, maybe when I was born, where we were on the planet, where the stars were aligned, sure. But like I didn't have a stomach ache because of it. So
Right.
like how serious or how lack thereof do you feel about it?
I don't know. I feel like I'm not well versed in it enough
Yeah.
to say too
Are
much
there like
about it.
specialties about that? Is
Oh
that,
yeah,
a
like
thing?
people who do numerology have whole careers on it. I mean, I've had friends tell me they did like an astral chart reading with like really good people, and they were raving about it. I'm like, okay, cool. If you liked it, dope.
So basically, if you're like a spiritual person and you have a mentor like this, you kind of like pick what kind of like a class. Like you can pick your
Oh,
major.
there's classes all
You can
over.
like pick
Yeah,
your major
Awesome.
and like
yeah. My major's mediumship. I just
That's
talk
cool.
to dead people.
Do you have any opinions on the Ouija board?
Okay, don't fuck with Ouija boards at home.
There's so many scary movies.
Okay, so I could literally talk about this stuff for like days.
We
Do I have
could
9
listen
episodes?
for days.
Yeah.
This is a whole new season.
I need
just
deodorant.
kidding.
I'm sweating.
No, you don't.
I'm getting stressed.
Okay, so Ouija boards, I know they're supposed to be fun. Here's what my mentor Lee taught me about Ouija boards and why I will not mess with them. When you're working on a Ouija board, now here's the thing. This is all, and the reason that this is like a thing and why it works doesn't work. Same with mediumship, same with Ouija board. We also do trance mediumship, which I can tell you about in a little. It is all energy, okay? Everything works through energy. So energy can't die. You do not want to go on a Ouija board because you can unintentionally invite like an actually bad demonic spirit in. And you just don't want to mess with that.
And is it the board that does that? Because what if I just put A, B, C, D, E, F, G all the way down and had a little arrow? Or is it like
you could make your own.
the board's in the factory? It's not like right.
It's not the board.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
you could make.
Right.
I've actually made Ouija boards, but I only do it with my mentor and with my crew because my mentor Lee has done exorcisms. She's
Wow.
had, but she knows how to do all that. So I feel like, you know, I have her.
You
so
were in a safe space.
yeah, totally. We do table tipping a lot, which I love. Table tipping, I feel like, is very protected. So it's when we have like a small table. It's really supposed to be wood, but I use a metal table. And in a reading, you really need 2 mediums on the table at least. And like regular people can go on the table as well. You just lightly put your fingers on it and you ask spirit to give a physical manifestation. I was like, no way. That's not a thing. That
Yeah.
doesn't work. And they were like, yeah, it is. We're going to do it. And we do table tipping. Every other week
And
now.
you see a dead person?
No. Your fingers go on the
move it.
table,
Oh,
and the
they
table
move
spins, and spirit moves the table for us. It'll tip, it'll go up and down, back and forth, and go around.
So do you believe that there's a spirit moving the centerpiece?
On a Ouija board, yeah, but the thing is, you don't want to be like a group of drunk people,
Right.
Because it's very low energy, low vibe. And a lot of people like don't respect what they're doing.
Right.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, but they'll
Yeah.
like if you have a couple like jerks on the table, like, oh, we don't care.
They're
like,
moving. Yeah.
Mm-mm,
Yeah.
no,
How do you avoid inviting a bad spirit in though?
that's why you don't do a Ouija board.
But like even if you were to like acknowledge spirits, like what does the board do that makes it so easily accessible to like negative energy?
I think because generally it's like people just messing around and
Okay.
like
their
seeing-
intentions are bad.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and if they're like drinking or like doing drugs or whatever.
And do you
I'm like, oh, let's
actually
get a
think
Ouija
that's
board.
like a viable gateway for spirits, good or bad?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Totally.
All right.
I do. I haven't really done much with a Ouija board.
Yeah.
I'm
I just see
like,
a lot of scary
eh.
movies, and I'm like, no
Yeah.
thanks.
I had a bad experience with a Ouija board
Yeah.
when
they
I was
can-
little, and then really bad shit started happening in my family, and my mom was like, "Get this the fuck out of the house," because literally my dad's number is 23. That's like
Oh,
always
it's like my
resonated.
number too.
Oh, really? You're
Follows
23?
me everywhere.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
follows
literally
me
have it on my wrist.
literally. I'm surprised I don't have it tattooed all over me. Like
Oh
that.
my
The number
God.
has followed me my whole life.
What are the
Me too.
odds?
No. No.
She'll literally text me pictures throughout the day. 23,
All-
23.
everywhere.
When I had it
Everywhere.
hot, everywhere I turned, I was like,
Literally everywhere.
my
And
face.
so we had the Ouija board. My sister and I used to play with a couple of friends when we were in like elementary school, and or I guess I went into middle school, and there was some bad shit happening in my house, and then my mom was turning out all the lights in the kitchen one night, and she saw something like glowing in the dark, and she was like, "Oh, let me just go check. Maybe someone let something out." And she saw like the Ouija thing, and the placeholder was pointing right at 2-3.
oh,
and
sick.
and
That's
she
good.
was that's good. Or okay, because my mom was like, "Get this out."
Well, if it's
like,
pointing on 23, and that's a good thing for you, yeah.
yeah, but I was like, I
At
didn't
that
know if
time,
someone
she
was
was
like,
probably like, whoa.
Not everyone who does Ouija is gonna like bring through some
Right.
demonic spirit.
Okay.
It's just like,
It's not something to mess with.
I didn't
it's
know
like
if that
walking
was
on the
them
tightrope.
like warning us.
no,
like, we're
no,
gonna
no.
fuck
It's
with
not
your
always
number.
bad. Like usually
Okay.
you want it to be good, you could totally do it. But like, you want the intention to be good. But
Yeah.
what my mentor told me is like, if something bad happens, you want to know how to like shut it down and get rid of it. And I'm like, no one knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Do you, since we're in spooky season, do you think any of like the horror movies that are based on the real, like The Conjuring, things like that, like, do you believe that they're legit?
So The Conjuring is real. My mentor, that's the one with the Annabelle doll.
Part of it. There's multiple.
There's
yes.
okay. So I never saw them, but I know Sorry.
I love Halloween. It's like my thing.
I hate scary movies.
My mentor, had dinner with what's her name, Eileen.
I'm not that much of a fan, but yeah,
Okay.
the woman.
It was a couple,
Yep,
right?
they're
Husband
married.
and a wife.
Yep.
I mean, that woman died,
Uh-huh.
but obviously before she died, my mentor got invited and had dinner with them, and the doll was in a case, and like no one's allowed to go near it.
It's in a museum right now, and it's locked up.
Yeah,
like,
you can't touch it.
You cannot.
That thing is fucked.
It's literally like strapped in the case too.
I heard something. You're like popping a memory open, but I can't quite like remember the details. But someone like touched it, and then like crazy stuff started happening. I'm like, again, I just work with my happy dead people. And like, that's it. I don't mess with anything
All
else.
the good vibes.
Yeah. I'm like Archangel Michael. Okay, like I got my pendant. I got my stuff
So
ready.
then a lot of horror movies that like showcase these like terrible things happening, they go to like priests and like churches.
Yeah.
And how effective or realistic is that, or is it just like a mental thing?
Loaded question. Okay, so that makes me go right to the fact of like people talking about demonic possessions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people reach out to me and they're like, hey, I think I have a spirit in my house, or like, hey, something's following me. The way to clear that up is by explaining spirits can attach to a physical place. They will not attach to a person. So like say someone like died in this apartment or whatever.
Yeah.
They might hang out. They might like hang out and like, you know, move something a little. It's never like evil. It's never with malintent. It's not like that. Like spirit will, if they're not crossed over, they will hang out. But like if a spiritual person knows or they do like clearings, you want to help that person cross over. So, you know, there's ways to do that. Sage, candle, you
So
just
that's where
do,
you come in. You like guide
yeah,
them.
I could do that. But you want them to cross over. You want them over there. Like no one wants to be stuck here. Now a possession, like a demonic possession where you need an exorcism, that is a real thing, but it's such a small little percentage.
I'm sure.
Like the thought of a spirit being attached to like a home or something is way more common. Like that's actually not like that's way more common. But like a possession, those are real. Like I know people who have done exorcisms.
Wow.
That is where a priest would come in because you do need like the Bible and holy water, and that's like a whole thing.
That's my question then, I guess. Like to segue, like does religion have it right in any sense?
No.
Okay.
No. And I know this just because of doing mediumship, because in mediumship, people from all different religions talk to me.
I was going to say, because in movies, it's always the
Right,
Catholic Church. I'm like, listen,
yeah.
me Jew girl over here, like, what's going to happen to me if I get possessed?
No,
You're screwed.
nothing.
You're screwed.
Religion is just so man-made.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yes.
They don't care. That's why like I'm Catholic, but like I'm not Catholic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I appreciate it. I think like, okay, for example, with Catholicism, the difference between Catholic and Jewish, right, is Jesus. That's really the big difference.
Literally. Old Testament, New Testament.
Yeah. So I actually spoke to a really, really well-known medium, like world-renowned. And I said to her, I'm like, she was a Catholic nun. And I'm like, can I just ask you, like, what's your stance on all this now? Like, I literally asked her what you asked me. And she was like, you know, I think Jesus was a great role model, but I don't think he was the only role model.
Right.
So, for example, she's like, it's
I'm a
great.
genius.
Yeah, she's like, it's great that people idolized him and want to follow in his footsteps. Good for them. But that's where that religion came in. But they could have easily gone and idolized a different person and the religion would have gone that way. So it's like, there are many.
I've literally said this so many times.
There's many idols,
Yeah.
you know? But there's also, too, people who have, like, what would Jesus do on their Instagram profiles?
Right.
And they're, like, Karens in the street. Like, cut it
Yeah.
out. So religion, again, I just think
Karens in the
it's
street.
totally man-made. So to me, it's all about like good energy, being spiritual.
So what does the Bible do as far as exorcisms?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know.
I got to call somebody for that?
Like, here's the thing. I do believe in angelic realm, big time.
Yeah. What's angelic realm?
Like archangels.
Okay.
Like that I'm totally down with.
Yeah.
I know that from the mediumship as well. So I just like feel gravitated towards that and work closely with it. But
And like archangels are like from God, right?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There's like, again,
I'm
this
not
is a
very
whole
religious.
other like class that
Yeah.
I'm not like great at. But there's like
There's
a
so
hierarchy.
much,
There's a
yeah.
hierarchy of angels, and I'm just like, okay, cool.
Wow.
I don't know everything about it.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
As I progress with everything, I'm sure I'll study it more and
Yeah.
want to learn this one month,
Whatever
and that
interests
another
you
year.
most.
Yeah. It's just like,
I have a question. So if you have like an event or people hire you to come and do mediumship and reads, like Do you have to sit there and like try to channel, or do you walk in feeling spirits already there?
Do
Like
they smack you in the face?
yeah, are they like, hi, I want to talk? Like, how does that work?
It's all different. So I really learned in my training and figuring all this out. I never had like an on-off switch, and that actually became like messy for me.
Okay.
It's
It was,
exhausting.
like,
Yeah.
it's mentally very exhausting, and it makes you feel crazy. It makes you like you never. One of my
Spirits
rules.
gaslight you.
Luckily, they don't know. They're nice. It's the people alive that do do the shitty stuff.
Yeah.
But for example, like on TV, how you see like a medium going up to someone in a grocery store and like talking to them.
Teresa.
I would never do that.
No.
I will only read if I'm in a reading, if I'm like, if I turn the light switch on. Otherwise, I'm totally human like everybody else, working, living normally.
Yeah.
I read when I'm reading, and that's it. Like in the salon, people will be in my chair all the time. They're like, "Can you read for me?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
But I'm saying like if you for whatever reason wanted to go to the grocery store and turn it on, you could.
I could, but that's my personal boundary.
No,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no,
But like
I
as
won't.
far as your gift,
I could, yeah. It's just, I mean, we've again trained. I train with a group of mediums every Tuesday. We have it's called our circle. A lot of mediums.
Oh, come.
What?
What's the address?
Oh no, well we do public circles sometimes.
Do
So
you?
yeah, I do like events at my salon.
That's so
where
for you.
That's
you
so
can like
fun,
buy
yeah.
tickets, and I have like up to
That's
20
fun.
people, and we go around and read for them. But to me, I have the on off switch,
Yeah,
and like
that's nice.
That's it.
That's
Because
great.
it was driving me crazy not having that, and it's like a personal boundary too. It's nice.
Yeah.
So
Do you ever walk into readings and like not pick things up? Like,
it's always the fear.
okay.
And the thing is always like if I have a reading and I can't connect, I wouldn't charge the person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luckily, that has never once happened.
Wow. That's
but
awesome.
I think just knowing that too takes the weight off my shoulders. But
yeah.
mediumship is not about the medium at all.
Okay.
It's like a lot of people like, oh, they want to do it for the fame or the money or whatever. It's not about that at all. Like when I'm working with someone and I'm doing a reading for someone, they're called the sitter. If the sitter says no to something I say, I cannot take any offense to it. It's a mistranslation on my part, or we just haven't gotten to it yet, or they're not remembering something.
Okay.
I've done readings that I felt were really good, but the sitters like got bad energy, and
So you're
because
just
of
the
them,
messenger.
I'm literally just the messenger. It has nothing
Wow.
to do with me at all.
That's so
Like
interesting.
I could sit in a reading and the person could tell me it's never happened, but they could tell me no over and over, and I'm like, I know I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Because they're not wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong as a human, but spirit is way smarter than us.
Do spirits lie?
No. No. When you cross over,
Do they know things?
yeah.
Like, do they see me in the shower?
Yes, but they also
That's the shit I
respect you.
think about, guys.
But they also respect you. So it's not in a creepy way. Because
Do you
here's
ever
the thing.
feel like you're being watched? Well, I'm
do
sure you do.
I?
I'm sure you
You're
do.
asking the
Yeah.
medium?
Like, do you ever see dead people? No, but I swear
Yeah.
to God, there are moments not
Sure
not
do.
every day, but there are moments in my life where I literally am like, oh, hello? Like,
It's
I'm
called
like,
paranoia.
ooh. And I literally am, I don't know why it's when I'm in the shower. I'm like, hello? What? Joe?
No, you're watching movies. You're,
Okay.
you're just paranoid.
I have another
That's
question.
what goes through my mind. I'm like, there's
Here's the
something
thing.
naked.
They don't, even if they were watching that, they don't care.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
human issues, ego, and problems that we have
Good to
here
know.
are not a thing over there.
So
They just
interesting.
don't exist.
So, how do they channel you? Do you hear words? Is it pictures? Is it like?
Every medium will have a different answer. They're called the clairs. There's clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience. There's a bunch of them. And as your mediumship evolves, it can change.
Okay.
So at first, I would know that I was like starting to a reading because I didn't feel like I was going to pass out, but everything looked like I was about to pass out. Like I would get black, like sparkly vision,
Oh my god.
and it was really weird.
Not while you're driving, I hope.
No, they wouldn't do that. But that would be like my signal to be like, we're here. And everything would look sparkly and I couldn't see for a few seconds and then it would clear up.
Wow.
That they don't do that for me anymore because they're like, okay, now you know.
Gotcha.
And all my medium friends, it's like, oh yeah, this was my involvement. Everyone's got a different story. It's really cool. For me, it's a lot of seeing pictures. Clairaudient, I get like barely, which is hearing things. I don't have that very much. I know mediums who are like totally clairaudient. But for me, it's really just seeing things. They'll flash pictures into my head. They'll show me something really quick. Like my mediumship is mostly like if you were thinking of your favorite movie and you were thinking of your favorite scene in a movie, you would just see it really quick in your head.
Okay.
You wouldn't in real time
Right.
Gotcha.
Watch it.
see what the actors were saying and like where they were, but you would like know, but it's like boop, 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 quick. I also get like just gut feelings. Like I know, I feel.
Okay.
One of the things that I do with my group, we do, it's called trance mediumship, which is, long story short, you take turns, you go one at a time. Each medium like meditates for a couple minutes, and then you allow a spirit to literally blend into your body, and we talk in the first person. So it's like the spirit's like speaking through me. It sounds a lot weirder than it is.
No, I would love that.
It sounds like a possession, but it's not at all.
Yeah.
It's not at all.
It like kind of gives them a space to like express.
Exactly.
Oh my God. I'm
At first
obsessed.
I was like, what the hell is this?
Wow.
But
Do it.
I do it every other week. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's cool, but you know what? Again, like these things seem so crazy, but when they become normal to you, they're just not crazy anymore. Like table tipping. I was like, there's no fucking way dead people can come through and move a table. And now I do it every week. I'm like, oh yeah, it's table tipping. Like,
Oh my God.
Cool.
So can they move things or?
yeah, but it's not like, woo, like, no.
Mm.
It's not like that.
Is it?
Yeah,
But it's
ta-
energy.
It's energy. Table tipping works because it's just like a developed practice.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you think happens after? We're gonna get into the actual mediumship, but I just
Yeah.
have other questions before that. So
Hit
please,
Yeah. I have
please
one more
be
question
patient.
too that I have.
You have more than one. Don't lie.
I know.
What do you
I have
think
a million.
from your experience so far happens after you die?
Okay, so from my understanding, yeah, again,
Yes.
every medium will give you
Yeah.
a different answer. But this is kind of the consensus. When you cross over, you go through a life review, which is like literally going through everything you've done.
Wait, pause. When I die, am I seeing myself? Am I in a room somewhere? Is it like Harry Potter where I'm like in a castle? What goes down? What do you think?
No, I think from my understanding, when you cross over, your friends and family, whoever's already crossed over, pets included. Someone asked me that today. They're like, are pets over there? I'm like, yeah, they come through in meetings all the time. They greet you, and you literally you just start a new life.
Is it a white light?
I've heard yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted. So
No,
you
no,
go
you-
through you passed
Life
or you
review,
failed.
yeah, and then again, that's like one of the things with reincarnation, right? So you review the life, but I don't believe that you go into a new life right away. I think that you go after like everyone you know has passed.
I was gonna say, because how could you visit somebody if
Exactly.
you already left?
Right.
That's what I was gonna
So
ask.
I don't believe that you would reincarnate like a couple years later. I think it's like decades.
And is it a choice? Like, could you just
I heard
eat bagels
yes.
every day in heaven for the rest of your life?
Okay, so this is gonna sound so silly, but it's what I know to be true.
That's what
And
I want
my,
in heaven
And my
is
friends
bagels.
agree with me. So if they agree with me, I can't be that insane. Heaven is your personal version of heaven.
Right.
So for some people, like some guys, when they die, they will be out fishing all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Women who were teachers that love kids, and like
Mhm.
say a woman was a preschool teacher,
Yeah.
she will be working with children on the other side all the time.
Mm.
She'll be painting because that's what she loved to do.
Yeah.
It's you become your
Ideal life.
yeah. So I took class last summer with a woman named Sharon Klingler. She is a world-renowned medium. I call her the Michael Jordan of mediumship. She was so cool. She made us do like new things that were just like so eye-opening. But her words were, "You are your highest self in heaven."
Right.
So you have no anger. You're not pissed off at anybody. You're not like, you don't have a chip on your shoulder. Like you're just your best self. You're doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
So that's really, it's like such a simple answer.
So
Wow.
why
But
can't we
it's
do
true.
that here?
Well, we're supposed to.
Yeah.
I mean, we're supposed to, but we have disease,
Yeah.
death, accidents. Like it's hard.
Mm.
Life is school. We're in school from the day we're born till the day we die. We're learning lessons the whole time.
Do you
Yeah.
think that there's like a path for everybody, or it's pure free will?
Oh, we completely have free will.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing's like planned out. You don't
So
think.
I think
I know this is very
but I also I think we have complete free will, but I also believe in destiny.
yeah.
And like you can't twist fate. I
Yeah.
really believe you can't twist fate. Like for example, a woman really wants a relationship with a man. She's pushing and pushing and pushing. The universe tells her time and time again, he's not available. He doesn't like you. He's showing you he doesn't value you.
Yeah.
Well, she keeps going back. Well, how's she going to be happy if she stays in this cyclone?
Right.
She has to learn the lesson to move on, or
Mm.
he has to learn the lesson to leave her. If a woman's unhappy in her job, she'll stay and she'll be miserable over and over and over. The lesson will come to like fruition when you allow it. So that's a mixture of free will and fate.
No
that's why people get so twisted on timelines in their life. Like by 33, I need to be married with 2 kids. Blah, blah, blah. If you're focused on that, you're actually energetically pushing it away.
Wow. That's so interesting.
my life's fucked.
On that note, bye.
I'm gonna go
Good
cleanse.
luck.
Oh my
Good
God.
luck. You know how it goes.
She's like, glad I left her with that. See you guys later.
No, it's tough though. We all have lessons to learn, and you know this is why I said too. Like, I don't really like to do psychic readings, because it's a lot of women who come to me and they're like, "Is he gonna call me back?"
Yeah, and
you're like
no.
honey, who fucking cares?
You're like,
it's
it's
like,
over.
I feel like a therapist, and I'm like, I tell people, even on the rare occasion that I do a psychic reading, I say to them, even if I'm picking up on something, there are certain things I refuse to say, because if I tell you something that I feel and I plant that seed in your brain, your free will is going to dance around my words.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it is.
I don't want any attachment to that.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to live your life. You need to learn your lessons and do what you feel.
Yeah.
I don't want my words to like twist what someone's doing, or they're thinking, oh, well, Dina said this. Like, no thanks.
That's awesome.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
As far as spooky season stuff, because I'm just like, that's my thing. Do you believe in like witches, vampires, werewolves? Like that? Do you think that was ever a thing, or that was totally man-made?
No, I think that's all made up. But like, okay,
it's not like a sexy vampire waiting for me.
No, I mean, maybe your version of heaven, you can have one and it'll be like harm-free, but he will be very nice and not.
Okay. But like, what about witches? Like,
so okay, with witches,
like, you've ever been to Salem?
No, I really want to go though.
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah,
I'll go with you. We should go.
I would totally go. So I feel like with like witchcraft, it's such a word that's been like associated with Halloween and stuff. I really feel like, again, I haven't done so much research on it because I'm like, meh, I'm busy. But I feel like with the witch stuff, it's really law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're doing a ritual, whatever that, like I don't do any of that stuff, but if you were to do something like cleansing crystals or some kind of like good energy spell, they mess with technology. Is that what they're doing?
I was just like, that was weird. I just
glitched.
Yeah.
They mess with my phone all the during.
Relax. We got to get through this podcast.
Oh my God, that's so scary.
They mess with me all the time on my tech.
Oh my God.
But I think like basic witchcraft or whatever, especially in the Salem times, I think it was just they didn't realize it was like just law of attraction.
But is
manifestation
is like signing your soul to Satan a thing?
I don't.
Do you believe in Satan?
Oh, people ask me that a lot.
Because you're saying demons and stuff.
Like,
is he the ringleader?
Well, that's like people being like, do you believe in hell? And it's like, yes and no.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's like, oh, you're going to burn in hell forever, because no one is born evil. It's again learned. It's like the downloads on the computer type of thing.
Well, that's an opinion.
Yeah.
No, that's like a big debate.
Yeah. And it's
nature
like,
versus nurture.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But then also too, well, where does forgiveness come in? Because if that's if a person who did bad things when they were here crosses over, well, don't we want them to rehab and learn their lesson?
Yeah.
And come back and like learn and do good
Unless
things?
they wronged me. Like, but I'm saying like that's the feeling.
I got people who go burn. No, I'm just kidding.
But I'm being serious. Like that's the feeling.
I got
like,
lists.
It did nothing terrible. Like if a serial killer like killed my kid, I'm like, you better burn in hell. I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
You know. So
well,
it's like
I believe that, and again, it's like so easy to say it when you're not involved in it,
Right.
but when it's you, oh
Right.
my God, when stuff happens to us,
right.
it's the end of the
And
world.
it's almost like it feels like how could there not be any justice on the other
Right.
side?
I do believe that there is justice, especially with like the life review. I do believe there's like a deeper level of like paying for what you did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, because again, how could like an evil kind of something come through on a Ouija board? But I feel like everything I do and everything I've learned about is like very protected and very like I stay on the nice side every night. I don't mess with the dark stuff.
Wait, I want to go back to something you said before, because I have a question about that. So you said you don't think souls come right back.
Mm-mm.
So say there's someone that passed and they've crossed over and they haven't, I guess, reincarnated into a different body or animal or whatever. When they do reincarnate, are you no longer able to channel them through mediumship because they're no longer like a spirit?
Well,
like, how does that work?
So I don't believe that a reincarnation would happen until everybody that they knew was also crossed over. Meaning, like, no one alive would be like, oh, I want to talk to Uncle Jerry.
Gotcha.
Because everybody who knew him is long gone now.
Gotcha, I see.
Like, again, it's not like, 10 years later you'll reincarnate.
Right.
Is that an absolute? No. Can I say that for sure? No.
Sounds good to me.
But it's, again, this is kind of like a collective of what, like, I've heard from my medium friends. And, like, through comparing notes, we've kind of, like...
I'm sure every
made these generalizations. Yeah, exactly. So
like if I wanted to talk to like my grandma who I never met, like they're hanging around just in case.
Yeah, they'll hang around because even though you never met her, like she still loves you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But in a reading, would she come through? Probably not, because I could tell you everything about her and you're gonna be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens in a reading.
And that's why I'm like, no, I don't know.
And they'll come back and be like, oh yeah, I heard that you were right about X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But during a reading, I want people to know exactly what I'm talking about. Because otherwise I would want, like, your mom to be able to validate these things.
But, like, without you, could I, like, I know I can just talk to the sky all day, but, like, how, like, I know they're like, oh, send a sign, whatever. Are some spirits just, like, better at that?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so you still have your personality when you cross over. Like, I did a reading Tuesday night, and I'm very, like, blah, 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 blah when I read. And for some reason, I was, like, struggling to get words out. Well, it was because the guy was, like, not a talker.
An introvert.
Wow.
And if you didn't know him, he, like, wouldn't talk. And at the end of the reading, I said that, and she goes, yeah, that was how he was. I'm like, because I'm, like, trying to get him to know me really quickly. He, like, wasn't. But then I'll get, like, a loud Italian lady, and it's just...
Oh, my gosh.
It just depends on the person. Like, their personalities come through in a reading.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So with that, would you be comfortable doing a reading?
Yeah, we could try.
And then if
I just
anyone...
need a pen and paper.
Okay, if anyone's uncomfortable, we can cut things, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be...
I've never done this, so I'm just kind of open.
It's a good
to
time.
I love readings.
Gang, I'm nervous.
You're nervous. I'm the one on camera talking to dead people.
Literally sweating.
Oh, okay. A couple notes for, like, when you get a reading or just a reading with me. The best answers are yes, no, I don't know. You can give me a little feedback, but don't give me too much because I need to really just let them talk. It's awesome to give some feedback because people want to hear, like, well, why was that true? We can also say that, like, more for
I think we can be a little more open than usual. I'm not thinking you're scamming me, so I think the viewers would really appreciate it, honestly, because they don't know us.
Yeah,
like
so
that.
just minimal feedback.
Okay.
And then every few minutes, if you want to give more feedback, cool. Because the problem is if you give too much feedback while I'm doing it, people could be like, well, she told her that, so then she knew this.
Right.
So I never want it to be like that.
Okay.
I get first impressions, and then once we know who the person is, then you can feel free to, like, dig in more. If you don't know anything, it's totally fine. Again, I don't care. A lot of times during readings, I say things and people are like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then I get DMs a week later, a day
so
later,
they don't
a month
tell
later.
you their name?
Some mediums are dope with names. I'm okay. I'll get names sometimes. Like, I'll have a fire week with names where I get, like, 10 names.
Because you're right.
And then the
like,
next
younger
week,
people don't really have, like,
they don't have a lot of dead
direct people that have passed away. So it's like, I don't know.
And then sometimes it's, like, no names for a week. They mess with me, too. They want me to exercise differently.
Don't mess up our video. We got to keep that going.
No, it'll be fine. They won't mess it up. Okay. Can you two just say your names out loud for me?
Jackie.
Yep.
Alex.
Let me just see who wants to appear. Sometimes they piggyback too. So two people can come in with very similar aspects. They do it so it's like a 2-for-1. In which case I try to divide them, and I don't make eye contact when I read because I don't want to. I need to stay on my my freak side.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. The first impression I'm getting, I have two men stepping forward. I feel like they're brothers, or they were very much like brothers. One feels like a very sudden death. Like, I feel like I want to go to a heart attack here, or something with my blood pressure, or an aneurysm, but I know it was quick. So one is telling me his death was a lot faster than the other. The other one is telling me he was much slower. I feel like here I can't quite breathe. I feel like I have a lot of pressure on my chest. And I feel like I'm hooked up to a lot of machines in the hospital. This one, I feel like, again, super, super fast. This one was on the slower side. My heart is pounding, so I don't know. Well, that might be a heart attack. I feel like I'm either on a vent here, but I know I'm hooked up to a lot of stuff, so I know I'm, like, in a facility or in a hospital. Is this making sense to anyone for these two men?
Yes.
Okay. That Jackie?
Yes.
Okay. Is this dad and uncle?
Yeah.
Okay. This is his brother, right?
Well, we saw that coming.
Whoa.
Uncle passed first.
Yes.
Okay. He was the quick one. Was this a heart attack?
I had a few uncles who had a heart attack, but
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's just line them up.
Long-term Italian family.
Yeah.
But
A lot of meat and cheese.
I think I have a feeling which one.
Okay, I'll dig a little more because I want you to actually really know. Okay, so heart attack, quick. They're teasing me about hair right now, so I want to say there was either a problem with his hair, he didn't have as much hair. They're saying something about hair here. I feel like he has glasses as well.
Yeah.
But I know he passed first. He had a daughter as well. I see a boy and a girl. It could be son-in-law, by the way. They don't use terms like in-law or step.
Mm-hmm.
Daughter, son, what are you saying? I don't know if there's like an F, like a Francesco.
Whoa.
With him or around him, but I'm getting like Frankie Francesco. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. How does that make sense? You could say it because I already said it.
I have two uncles that are coming to mind. One is my Uncle Robert because he was a hairdresser. He wore glasses.
Okay.
He passed of cancer.
Okay.
But then I also had a Uncle Nick who passed of a very sudden heart attack, and he had a son named Frank.
Okay.
Who also passed.
Okay.
Jesus.
Most of my family's dead.
Wow,
So
okay.
yeah.
They really came in hot today.
Yeah.
Okay. That was probably them just splitting each other up because I was like, okay, guys, line up.
Yeah.
So the one came in with one evidence, one was the other. Okay, so the hairstylist was one with the glasses, and then the other had the son, Frankie, who's also passed. Who's got the mustache? Which brother is that?
They all do.
Okay. Because I'm getting like this, like, that fat mustache. Okay, cool. When I wrote mustache, I like stopped myself at M-U-S-T. Did one of them have a Mustang, or is there a link to a Mustang here?
I believe my dad had a Mustang.
Okay, because right when I wrote that, they stopped me, and they knew I was writing mustache, but they had me think of a Mustang, and they put that in my head. So someone's talking about a Mustang and like how hot this car was to them. Okay,
like my
so you're
dad.
saying dad had a Mustang.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I gotta put that with that. They come in all together and they just fire evidence at me, so I just like try to pick them apart. What happened to you? They're talking to me. They're really just like all over right now. So I gotta just try to like put them in line a little bit. They're all very outgoing and loud. Yes. Okay.
Can you tell?
Frankie's not that vocal with me. When they're silent, it's like usually a sense of regret or like not knowing how to say things. I don't know half the time when I say shit, I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
But as long as you know what it means.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Literally all I care
She'll
about.
DM you later.
Yeah. I don't care if I understand. And some
Yeah.
readings I do, I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. And the sitter's like, I get all of it. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, so I'll just reiterate. Frankie's feeling quiet to me. He's a little more in the background. He's kind of like just chilling, like, you know, I'm just here. I want to say hi. Was he a good bit older than you?
He was older than
10,
me, but
like
I didn't
8.
have a very close relationship with him.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Is he like around 8 years older than you?
Probably older. He might have been around my dad's age almost.
Oh,
or,
he's like way older.
well,
This is
maybe
the son,
like-
right?
This is the son of my uncle. So
Okay.
maybe 50s.
Oh, he was way older. Okay.
Okay.
Because I asked him, I'm like, well, what was your relationship here? And I saw no close ties
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, he just said I'm older.
Yeah.
So,
8. I actually think he passed when I was 8.
okay, then that's why he would say 8 to
Yeah.
me. Beautiful. Again, no idea what I'm saying as long as you get it. Because he said the number 8 to me. So I was like, okay, 8 years. I just figured
Yeah.
it was 8 years apart. But if you were 8 when he passed, perfect. Okay. All right. Is dad the one who was like on a vent and hooked up to everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand like fluid in the chest?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like that feeling of like an elephant sitting on my chest. He says towards the end he knew he was going to pass. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Because he's like, I had conversation. I knew I was crossing over. I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I already knew that you sing. because I just saw your Instagram for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But he asked you to sing something for him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's so cute. Because he's saying, like, I asked her to sing something for me to say goodbye. And you, like, didn't want to do it. But did you have difficulty? He's saying, like, the song choice. I don't know if he knew exactly what he wanted you to sing or there were, like, 2 or 3 choices. But he's talking about the song choice and how much thought there was around that. Do you get that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. You can get, if I say something like that and you know it, feel free to give more feedback.
Okay.
Once I say it, like, that's good. I don't want it to be like, she said we couldn't talk.
Okay.
Like that, like, of course I wouldn't have known that, and I think people will understand that. So feel free to, like, tell them what that means for fun or not. It's totally up to you. But he's saying, like, he was talking about the song and what he wanted you to sing, and it was like, I want to make sure it's the right thing. Am I going to be able to get through this? Am I going to be choked up singing it? I'm literally going to choke on my own spit trying to sing this. It's just like so much swirling around it that I can feel.
Yeah. I have a song that's my dad's. Well, there's 2. When you said 2 or 3, there's 2 that are very much like my dad. And he passed on a ventilator to COVID.
Yeah, I was going to say this is COVID, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
and
it's like...
We told the doctors, no, do not vent him. And they hung up the phone on us and vented him anyway. And 5 hours later, we got a call that he was passing.
Yeah.
He was also a cardiac arrest patient. So
I was going to say, because when I wrote down, remember I said heart attack?
Yeah.
But if you look, I wrote it between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Because when I wrote it for Uncle, then I was talking about Dad, but my heart started pounding again.
Yeah.
So I was like, I feel fluid in the chest, but I'm like, my heart is pounding for Dad too. So I knew it was like more than one thing happening.
Yeah.
Did he work with his hands?
Yep.
He knew how to fix everything, he's telling me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I fixed everything in that
So
house.
modest.
Did he like build part of your house or something, or like do some kind of reno on it?
My uncle did.
Did we already talk to the uncle?
Or
Or is that a different? I know there's like 5 of them, right?
I think my uncle John renovated the house, but my dad like kind of helped.
He
with
did
stuff.
it with him because
Yeah.
I'm getting the home renovation because it's really funny because when I'm asking you about it, it's like we are not paying anybody to do this.
Yep.
We are not paying anybody to do this.
Yep.
Like they were like we could do it ourselves, but they were actually pretty good at it. I feel like one thing. What is that? I feel like one thing broke a little bit after they did it, and it wasn't that big of a deal. It's got to be like a pipe needed to get replaced, like a small PVC, something really silly and stupid. But the one gave the other so much shit about it. Do you get? Is that making any sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I don't know if it's like a little part of a PVC pipe or just like a little crack in something. It was such an easy fix, but it's like one brother was giving the other brother so much shit about it, like you ruined it. But again, it's like
Your mom would probably like no.
Yeah. My mom probably no.
It's not that serious.
You must be exhausted.
Yeah, that's like.
I'm exhausted for you.
After a
Maybe because
reading-
you're not emotionally invested.
No, sometimes things
Yeah.
get me.
Yeah.
I just get more used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Practice.
like the first few weddings I worked where I was doing hair and makeup, I would like cry. And
Oh,
one of
no.
my hairstylist friends looked at me and she was like, "Y'all get over that quick." It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But no, something like when what did Dad say before? And
The
I like got the singing. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Like that got me a little mush. Not gonna lie.
That's cute.
All right.
I didn't even know that.
What else? What else? Whenever they give me generic stuff, I'm like, no, boring. Next. Like, oh, a mask card. Okay, everyone's got a fucking mask card. We get it. That's why, like, I know we were talking about like TV mediums. They give the most generic stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you have their mask card. Oh, your dad was still working when he passed.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like going to he's telling me his boss did something
Yeah.
for the services. He's acknowledging what his boss did.
Yeah.
He's showing me that something was put there. I don't know if it was like a flag or like a piece of something. He's showing me a piece, but he's saying my boss did that, and he's like, I thought that was really nice of him.
Yeah.
He's saying and I'm like, okay, I know you worked because you're telling me your boss did something really nice to acknowledge your passing.
Yeah.
And I know the company did like a huge floral arrangement. He's saying he's really like, because a lot of times, you know, you think the people who would do something for you when you pass don't do anything. He's like, no, they actually like respected and honored me, and they were really good. So he's just saying like thank you to the company that he worked for, because he really, that made him feel special, like crossing over that they extended that olive branch.
Yeah.
So did they send food too?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay. Because I'm like, all right, the passing. He's like, but they showed me like trays of food going.
Yeah.
So I know that his boss and the
Oh my
company
God.
sent a lot of food to your house, like sandwich trays.
Yeah.
All that. He's like, they didn't want you guys to worry about like what you were gonna eat that night, or like what you had, if there was food in the fridge. They didn't want your mom to worry about having to cook or do that. So he's saying like that was really, really big. He goes, that's how to get to my heart. Send some parm, send some sandwiches over. Like he's saying that was really important for him. Do you understand your mom making him sell one of the cars?
Yes.
And he was like,
So
he felt
upset.
like a child died or something.
Yes.
It's like so dramatic, but it's like this one, and he's saying it was one of them. And one of them, she's like, they made me sell it. She made me sell it. And it felt like the end of the world. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Linda's gonna laugh.
It's his yellow Jag.
Okay,
The yellow
okay.
Jaguar.
He's like, I had to get rid of it. It was almost like the toy, but like we needed more of a family car type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get him saying like, and because the driveway was full?
Yeah, we literally couldn't park his car in the driveway. That's fucking wild.
Okay. Because he's like showing me, and it's like that third one had to go because it needed room for another one.
Yep. Oh my God.
That's really funny. Yeah, I'm like, okay, the driveway's full. Like, we have nowhere to put this new car. And he's like, that's why I had to get rid of it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
But something about Dad's watch. I don't know.
Okay.
Ask your mom. Things like watches, cufflinks, to me, that's like on par with a MasterCard. Like, I go for what we call high-hanging fruit. I'm
Yeah.
like, give me the stuff that no one would ever know.
Most of the stuff you just said, no one would ever know.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was
Oh my
fun.
gosh.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. That was insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is by far my favorite episode ever. I just have to say, no, you've no idea what that means to me. It
Oh,
literally
good.
fills my heart.
I won't tell all of your other guests that I was the favorite one ever.
Well, I'm going to keep that in the podcast because I literally, like, thank you so much. I
Oh,
think
my
things
pleasure.
like that are so special.
Yeah, it's a great time.
How do you feel after doing a reading? Do you feel exhausted?
After like a large group reading, I'm like, Mama needs a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure.
again, like I've done it so many times that it's just par for the course
Yeah.
at this point. And I'm like, all right, cool. I did what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Again, I serve spirit. It's not about me. It's not about me looking cool or again, I always say to people like, I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
I'm already insanely busy. I have a full career, husband, dog, like I'm busy.
Yeah.
I don't need to be doing this.
Right.
I do it because I love it and because it like to me, like this is like soul purpose.
Yeah.
You know, like people need healing messages. They need to know there's more on the other side. We can communicate.
Yeah.
Love doesn't, it sounds so cheesy, but it's so true. Love never dies.
Yeah.
And people need to have evidence of that. So
Yeah. Ugh.
yeah, if I feel good after I read. It's like a little high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't imagine. That's like so incredible. And literally just like filled my soul. You have
Oh,
no idea.
good.
I've met with several mediums since he passed. How
I
it works.
always tell people never go into a reading with like a checklist of expectations because you will be disappointed.
Yeah.
Like when I have a group, I like give them my basic rules and then I'm like, okay, please do not say to spirit, like I'm testing you.
Yeah.
If she's real, tell her that I have your 1964 penny in my right pocket.
Right.
Like, don't do that. Again,
Right.
if I could do stuff like that, I would go play Powerball and no one would see me.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
let it happen. Again, like you gotta let life flow, and that's like a perfect example of it. So
That's awesome.
but see, like they say things that we know that they can come through.
Yeah.
Because
That's
I
incredible.
don't know your dad. I don't know you. It's just cool
That's
stuff.
It was so specific. It's
Good.
insane. I'm like, whoa. Like
Good.
I just don't share most of that stuff. So that's awesome. And you know what's funny too is like back to our sponsor is Blue Eyes. My dad almost purchased this property, but Alessandro I think outbid him, and then they became like really good friends.
Oh my God, that's
yeah.
so cool.
So I'm like very good family friends with Blue Eyes,
Oh,
and I
fun.
love that place. It reminds me of my dad. So it's just funny how we
Yeah.
all kind of
Yeah.
made a full circle.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But
Well, thank you for coming.
My
This has
pleasure.
been so like eye-opening and very cool.
Good.
so cool.
And I'm about to show up on Tuesdays to wherever you are.
I literally, you will not be able to get rid of me.
Yeah, but if anyone wants to take like a spiritual class,
Yeah.
they can go check out my mentor's site.
Yeah.
Again, it's Lee Van Zyl, Leevan ZYL,
Okay.
spiritual.com. She's in Clifton. I believe she's still doing some classes on Zoom, but she's got unfoldment into mediumship, Reiki, tarot, like you name it.
Wow.
She's like the
And what about
university.
you? Like, where can people find you? Where can they book you?
Just on Instagram. I'm working on like how I can really fit readings more into my life. I generally do them on like Mondays.
Okay.
But it's a lot.
All right,
Yeah.
gang, hit her up on Mondays.
Yeah.
Tuesday, she's busy.
My whole family's going to contact you. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, but family party.
Literally.
Just do a family party. So way to go. My readings that I'm doing one-on-one, they're all on Zoom. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, love that.
sweet.
All right. Well,
All right,
thank you
gang.
guys so much for tuning in. Super, super intimate. I loved it so much. Yes, definitely follow Dina with the pink hair on Instagram. We will tag her in all our posts.
Yeah.
And shout out to Blue Eyes Restaurant. And check them out. We'll post them as well. And we hope you guys have a great Monday.
I'm going to go shower because I'm sweating.
It's all the spirit stuff. They got you all
Bye,
ramped
guys.
up.
Spirit. Bye.